Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 1. We would like to present the result of our group discussion. That's about identify the maxim used by the speaker in a speech act video. Before we begin, let me introduce our group member. I am Alia Rihadatul Aisyi as a moderator and also first speaker, and Allya Septiyani as second speaker, and Aullyyawati Manurung as a third speaker. Let's get started. In a study of pragmatic, speech acts play a crucial role in understanding how language is used to convey meaning in various contexts. Speech acts are actions performed by utterance such as daring, questioning, or beating, and it can be promising, giving orders, making requests, and apologizing. While maxim of conversation are the cultural expectations that guide people when they are conversing. There are some of conversation maxim in English that are maxim of quality, maxim of quantity, maxim of manner, and the last one is maxim of relevance. Okay, without further ado, let's analyze the speech act that we found in the video, and let's analyze the maxim that is used by the speakers.
Slow today.
Okay, now
Stop!
what?
Don't come near this printer.
Okay, this is the first speech act that we found in that video. And Cheryl said, stop. Paul replied, what? Cheryl said, don't come near this printer. And the utterance stop is a speech act because it functions as a command. Cheryl is instructing Paul to halt his current action. The utterance don't come near this printer, also a command. Cheryl is giving Paul an explicit instruction to stay away from the printer. In a broadcast, Cheryl is performing an action through her words. Instead of merely describing or stating something, she is attempting to influence Paul's behavior. In this, the essence of speech act, using language to perform an action, not just convey information. So what maxim that Cheryl used in this conversation? In this conversation, Cheryl used maxim of manner because she ensured her communication is clear and unambiguous after Paul indicates he didn't understand her initial statement. Therefore, Cheryl's conversation, especially her classification, primarily illustrate the maxim of manner.
I saved a lot of money on the camera.
Okay, next is Paul. I save a lot of money on the camera. Mary said, yeah. And the utterance, I save a lot of money on the camera, is a speech act because it not only provides information that Paul has saved a lot of money on the camera, but there is also an action in the utterance that Paul has saved a lot of money on the camera. And in this conversation, use maxim of relevance because both Paul's statement and Mary's response are appropriate to the topic of conversation, making them relevant.
Should I leave the tip?
No, I'll put it on the credit card.
Okay, next is Mary asked, should I leave the tip? And Paul replied, no, I'll put it on the credit card. The utterance, I'll put it on the credit card, is a speech act, where Paul is instruct Mary on an action he will take regarding the tip. By saying, I'll put it on the credit card, Paul committed to the action. He said that he will put it on the credit card, so Mary doesn't have to leave the tip. And in this conversation, Paul used maxim of relevance because Paul's response is directly relevant to Mary's question about the tip, and he answered her question in a manner that is contextually appropriate and directly addressed her concern, thereby maintaining relevance in a conversation.
Have a nice evening. We're not quite ready. No problem.
Okay, this is the next conversation. Waitress come to take the tip, and she said, "Have a nice evening," Mary replied. "We are not quite ready." And waitress said, "No problem." When the waitress come to take the tip, Mary said, "We are not quite ready." Indirectly, Mary asked the waitress to delay her action to take the tip. It is a speech act because she is performing an action, especially making a request through her words rather than just providing information. This demonstrates how language can be used to influence others' behavior. And in this conversation, Mary said, "We are not quite ready." The conversation used maxim of relevance because Mary's response is indirectly related to the waitress' assumption that they are done.
Look, I'm paying tonight, so I get to decide how much to tip.
Oh, all right.
Paul said, "Look, I'm paying tonight, so I get to decide how much to tip." And Mary replied, "Oh, all right." And let's analyze this conversation. The utterance, "Look, I'm paying tonight," is a speech act because Paul is using this statement to assert his authority over the decision how much to tip. By emphasizing that he is the one paying, Paul performs the act of claiming control over tipping decision. This statement serves to influence Mary to accept his decision to tip. Through this utterance, Paul does more than just convey information. He set the term for the tipping situation, thus performing an action to his word. And in this conversation, Paul used the maxim of quantity by providing sufficient information about his reasoning for deciding the tip amount, making his position clear.
Are you an exercise fan?
Yes, I love to run. I run in the morning before work, and I run on Saturdays and Sundays along the river and to the park.
Interviewer asked, "Are you an exercise fan?" And Rob replied, "Yes, I love to run. I run in the morning before I work, and I run on Saturdays and Sundays along the river through the park." The utterance, "I love running, I run in the morning before work, and I run on Saturdays and Sundays along the river through the park," is a speech act because Rob not only give information, but there is an action in the utterance. That means he runs in the morning before go to work. In this conversation, Rob used the maxim of quantity by giving a detailed and complete answer about his exercise habit, providing neither more nor less information to thoroughly address the interviewer's question.
So do you actually have a routine that you follow?
Every day, yes. We go out, I go to the park and meet people who are in my age group. They're 80, 60, 70. We have quite a number of 80s and one 90-year-old. And we either walk or we run for about 3.5 miles.
In this conversation, interviewer said, "So do you actually have a routine that you follow?" And then answer her, "Every day, yes. I go to the park, meet people who are in my age group. They are 80, 60, and 70. That's all." Speech act. In this conversation, Herb used the maxim of quantity by providing a detailed and comprehensive response about his daily routine.
It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you too.
I'll get your tickets.
Thank you.
And then Mary, Mrs. Novak, and Mr. Evans. Mary and Mrs. Novak, "Nice to meet you, nice to meet you too." And then Mr. Evans said, "I will get your tickets." It means in this conversation, Mr. Evans used the maxim relevance by providing information directly relevant to the context. Mr. Evans is a travel agency. Of course, it is very relevant to talk about tickets.
Marie, could you call the Museum of Cheese and reserve tickets for Ms. Novak and me?
You're not serious.
I am.
Mr. Evans asked to Mary, "Mary, could you call the Museum of Cheese and reserve tickets for Miss Novak and me. It means in this conversation, Mr. Evans violates the maxim of quality because he is not really serious as claimed. Mr. Evans asked to call the Museum of Cheese and reserve tickets for Miss Novak and him when in fact the Museum of Cheese does not exist.
Give us another one, Marie.
We're running out of time.
And then conversation Paul and Mary. Paul, give us another one. Mary, we are running out of time. It means Paul used the maxim of relevance from Greece maxim of conversation by saying, "Give us one more." Mary, Paul makes a statement that is directly related to the activity at hand.
Stop doing that right now, and the movie tickets are my treat.
Deal!
I'm not buying you popcorn.
Oh, come on.
And then, Mary, stop doing that right now. And the movie tickets are my treat. Bob and Paul deal. Mary, I'm not buying you popcorn. It means in this conversation, Mary used the maxim of quantity by surely stating the limits of her offer, ensuring there is no misunderstanding about what is included in her promise to treat our friends to movie tickets.
Let's go say hi.
No! What are you doing?
Bob and Mary. Bob, let's go say hi. Mary, no, don't. It means in this conversation, Mary used the maxim of manner by being clear and direct in her refusal, ensuring her response is straightforward and ambiguous.
Cheryl's not here. Can I take a message?
And then Mr. Evan and receiver. So Evan said, "Cheryl's not here. Can I take a message? Can I take a message?" Receiver, "Yes, sir. I want a cheaper hotel in Budapest." Mr. Evans, "I will get Cheryl your message." It means in this conversation, Mr. Evans used the maxim of quality by honestly conveying Cheryl's absence and offering to pass on the message accurately.
We're going to need a van this afternoon. You're taking the tourist from Chile to the museum. I'll call the rental company.
The next Cheryl said, "We are going to need a van this afternoon. You are taking the tourists from Chile to the museum. I'll call the rental company." Bob replied, "Okay." The utterance, "I'll call the rental company," is speech act because Cheryl is not only informing Bob of her intention to make a phone call, but also committing to taking a specific action. By saying, "I'll call the rental company," Cheryl is making a promise or commitment to initiate contact with the rental company, thereby ensuring the necessary arrangements are made for the van needed that afternoon. In this conversation, Cheryl used the maxim of quantity by providing Bob with all the necessary details regarding the task at hand, ensuring he has all the information he needs to proceed.
Could we return it on the 15th of the month?
Next, Cheryl asked, "Could we return it on the 15th of the month?" Owner replied, "All right." Cheryl asked, "Great." The utterance, "Could we return it on the 15th of the month?" constitutes a speech act. In this instance, Cheryl is using language to make a request or seek permissions for a specific action, which is the return the file on the particular date. In this conversation, Cheryl uses the maxim of relevance by asking a specific, relevant questions about the return date. The owner's response adheres to the same maxim by providing a direct and pertinent answer. Next, talking about shampoo, Mary said, "I'll pick some up for you next time I'm here." Cheryl replied, "Great." Thanks. The utterance, "I'll pick some up for you next time I'm here," is a speech act because it involves making a promise or commitment through language. In the statement, Mary is not merely conveying information, but also offering to perform a specific action for Cheryl in the future. In these conversations, Mary used the maxim of quantity by promising to pick the shampoo, providing enough information for Cheryl to understand her intentions without unnecessary detail.
Well, then, pass the rice, please.
Next, Cheryl said, "Well, then pass the rice, please." Then, Paul passed the rice. The utterance, "Well, then pass the rice, please," is a speech act. By using the imperative past and adding "please" for politeness, Cheryl effectively asked Paul to perform a certain action. The utterance made Paul to perform an action which was to pass the rice to Cheryl. In these conversations, Cheryl used the maxim of manner by being clear and straightforward in her request, ensuring Paul understands what she needs.
I don't feel like looking at any more colors.
Quit complaining.
Next, Bob said, "I don't feel like looking at any more colors." Cheryl responds, "Quit complaining." The utterance, "quit complaining," is a speech act because it involves using language to perform an action, specifically issuing a command or directive. By telling Bob to quit complaining, Cheryl is attempting to influence his behavior and prompt him to stop complaining. In these conversations, Cheryl uses the maxim of relevance by addressing Bob's complaint directly and succinctly, keeping the interaction focused on his expressed sentiment.
Bob, can you help me with something?
Sure.
I'm trying to print a file, but the printer won't work.
Push the green button on the printer.
Next, Mary said, "Bob, can you help me with something?" Bob replied, "Sure." Mary said, "I'm trying to print a file, but the printer won't work." Bob replied, "Pass the green button on the printer." The utterance, "pass the green button on the printer," is a speech act because Bob is not just providing information about the printer, he is explicitly instructing Mary to perform a specific action to solve her problem with the printer. By telling Mary to push the green button, Bob is guiding her behavior and prompting her to take a specific step to achieve the desired outcome. In these conversations, Bob's response used the maxim of equality by providing a truthful and practical solutions to Mary's problem.
If you got a bill in a restaurant that was obviously wrong, what would you do?
I would tell the waitress and ask her if everything's okay.
Last, interviewers say, "If you got a bill in the restaurant that was obviously wrong, what would you do?" Jessica said, "I would tell a waitress and ask her if everything is okay." The utterance, "I would tell a waitress and ask her if everything is okay," is a speech act because in responding to the interviewer's questions, Jessica is not just stating a fact but outlining a course of actions she would follow, thereby indicating her intended behavior in that situation. By explaining that she would inform the waitress and inquire about the bill, Jessica is performing the act of making a promise or commitment to a specific course of actions. In these conversations, Jessica uses the maxim of quantity by giving a complete and appropriate response to the interviewer's questions, providing enough detail to illustrate her intended action without unnecessary elaboration.
That all is the result of our group discussion. This is the video that we analyzed. We apologize if there are any mistakes during the presentation, and we also say thank you for the opportunity, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.